Welcome in, Shield Brothers and Shield Maidens, to Shield's Rest. I'm Brown, and I'm here with True, and today we are happy to have this wrap up. We definitely want to get into some things, but first, I want to talk about Critical Role Campaign 4, and I'll let True get started, but I've got some thoughts of my own, and that's kind of one of the hot topics in the community right now, and maybe it's a little bit older news, but we haven't really talked about it yet, so what do you think, True? What are your opinions?
Yeah, I really wasn't wanting to, I wasn't going to talk about it too much because so many people have already weighed in, and what are these opinions even over here? So, but really and truly though, I don't mind it either way. Like I was disappointed, like as a Daggerheart fan, like I was disappointed that they didn't go with it, but it makes sense because they don't have that much built up in Daggerheart right now. It would take a lot to get off the ground with the amount that would need to be built, although I'm sure they've been building since they got it codified kind of thing. So that's probably not that big of a deal, but it's probably big enough, especially for Brendan Lee Mulligan, the fact that he's going to be taking over as the GM, which I love him to death. So I'll be very curious to see, but he's already talked about how he just loves D&D and how it fits for him as a GM, which I know we've talked about that before here on the channel. Like for me, I need something that's going to bring out that narrative and bring out the improv, because that's just not me. Like I'm not a creative person, but if the dice can basically throw that to me and say exactly what happened, I'm all about that. So that's where I understand why he went with that, but don't mind that they're going with D&D. I'll be curious to see how the D&D 2024 actually ends up going, because I have not seen that in real play yet, because we kind of switched over to Daggerheart before, like when that actually came out, we kind of switched over to 1.5 right as that was going. So yeah, but I think it's good. I think it's fine. I don't think it matters one way or the other. If you like Daggerheart, keep on playing. You know what I mean? So, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely am excited to see the 2024 in play, because like you just said, I don't even have the book yet. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a real fan. I've got like almost every other D&D book, but like you mentioned, we switched over right before that, and so I just didn't make that purchase, and I was moving states soon, so I kept telling myself, I'll pick it up when I get where I'm going, and I haven't picked it up yet. but I have looked over elements like in the PDF version and things. I've looked over some of the changes, so I'm somewhat familiar, so I'm excited to see how that goes. Definitely also haven't watched much of Brendan Lee Mulligan. I feel like I'm the one of this group that like isn't as familiar with him. I know who he is, and I've watched some of his stuff. He's awesome as well, but I haven't really like sat down and watched all of his things. And so I'm excited to see that and see Matt Mercer as a player again. I think that's going to be that's going to be clutch. Like he's already like, one of the best DMs, let's just say it. So seeing him as a player is always great. He does what I love about tabletop role-playing games. He'll bring other players in. He won't just be role-playing for himself. And I love that. And they all do that a little bit, but I think he really cares about the other people at the table, and he looks for ways to like intertwine his story with theirs. So definitely that's the most exciting part for me as well. It sucks that he won't be a DM, but he'll be a player. So that's awesome. And the rest of their cast looks crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I do think you did bring up an interesting point though about the team play aspect that he likes to bring in when he does act as a player. And he built a whole game around it. Like that was so cool to actually have mechanics that reward players for doing team play. So I'll be curious to see how he actually does, especially with a smattering of casts that, between all those tables. And I know they call it West Marches, but it's not really West Marches. It's just like this ideology, I would say it's called at that point. Like it's just the ideology of like, hey, we've got different stories going on, and that's the only thing that you could consider West Marches about it. But hey,
I will say that that's one element also I'm interested to see, because I've seen like West March servers, and I've seen like people that play by post, and it always looks very interesting, but I've never fully like wrapped my head around it or been involved in one. But I'm very interested to see. I trust Brendan Lee Mulligan can do this, because I've heard nothing but great things about him. But I know there's going to be that one, probably more than one, but that one episode or session where they're all there and they've all met up. All their stories have met to that one moment, and that's like, like the Super Bowl. Like get your popcorn. It's like a 3-hour session of just watching awesome stuff. So that's the other exciting part, is when they all get those intertwined stories together. So
hell yeah.
Awesome.
I actually have done West Marches one time, and it was because my Star Wars team, so like the guys that I play Star Wars with here on the channel, we've gotten to the point where it's hard to maintain the main story all the way through because like one person can't make it because of drill weekend or something else, and it just gets tough, you know. So if we have everybody, we play the main story. If we don't, we play Clone Wars. Because they can just play as clones. If their clone dies, who cares? If their clone's not there, he's on a different mission, it's okay. It doesn't matter that much. And that's probably the only way I've seen it actually successfully done is because of like clones and everything else. So it's really easy to just kind of play and, you know, keep moving, whether you have everybody or not. It's tough when you have to keep creating characters though, when they're not obviously clones.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Yeah, that is kind of a West March style that you're doing there with the clones because you're continuing to play like in a kind of like an alternate timeline in a sense. You're still progressing
Pretty much,
like,
yeah,
in the same world and things are still happening that are like related. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. But yeah, I'll just shout out. Thank you, T-Dog, for joining. Appreciate you in the chat there. My brother as well, and anyone else that may watch this after. Well, I guess we can transition now. We've talked a little bit about that. If you have any comments on Critical Role Campaign 4, let us know. We can come back to it. But for now, we'll just take a look at our monthly wrap-up for August. So, throwing it up on the screen here, another successful month of tons of things. we have so much stuff that we want to do. It's hard to, like, prioritize them sometimes. But it's definitely fun and love always working on projects together. But this is what August looked like. We continued on my side for Mondays, the DC-20 shield check with the couple classes there that were remaining, and then I polished that off on earlier this week on Monday with a tier list. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I actually surprised myself with that one, and you'll see what I thought was the best subclass out of that. And then also on the Wednesdays, we're continuing the Fabula Ultima with Fry. Those have been super fun, and I know True has been just chomping at the bit to actually get to play Fabula Ultima, and so are we, right? We've been covering this, what seems like a really awesome system, but we've never played it, so it's going to be super cool to see that come out at our table and see how we interact with that game system. I feel like Lancer, right? Ode back to Lancer, but we were talking about Lancer a few times, and man, when we played that had to be one of the most fun. The combat and the scenario and having the virtual tabletop, that had to be one of the most fun times I've had playing a tabletop role-playing game. I'll stop talking for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Man, you're good. No, I agree with you on that one. Lancer was just so much fun. Absolutely agree, because it was too good. It was too good, and that combat was just so satisfying. Oh my goodness. Especially after we've been talking about it for a while. We had built our mechs, got our characters together. We had a whole background and everything. So yeah, absolutely love that. But same for like the Daggerheart side right now. The class build series has been a lot of fun with Fry. Definitely going through a lot of interesting optimization choices, and like especially for like the rogue. The rogue was so much fun. The amount of damage you do as a rogue is insane. Same goes for the healing for the Seraph. So had a lot of fun with that. Glad to get the adversary encounter builds back up on the channel too. So Vampire is going to be next, and then I'm going to get into some Colossus of the Dryland, trying to build those big, large, hulking creatures coming up very soon in the September. But yeah, I'd say it was a pretty good month overall. And then that werewolf, real quick on that. We are play testing a little bit of material in-house that we have designed. We did actually test out the Void update for Daggerheart, where we did play their werewolf, and at least from my personal experience, it wasn't as satisfying as I wanted it to be, but it did at least yield some interesting things, some innovative ideas that I decided to bring into the homebrew that I was already working on for werewolf transformations. And we got to play test that there on that Saturday the 23rd, so that was a lot of fun, and we got a lot of good notes. So we're gonna have a secondary play test, and then we should have a PDF for you guys hopefully by the end of September. So
yeah, that was definitely awesome. Love the Daggerheart transformations too. They were definitely, like you said, kind of unique. And I think we talked about it in those videos, but it feels like very much like a starter set for transformations. Like here's something that you can have fun with, but it wasn't like super, involved. And I think they might get more into that, obviously. But the one you were already working on, playtesting that, was like, okay, this is kind of like a possibility of how you can really lean heavy into one of those specific transformations. And I think you've done a great job at developing the werewolf where we could at least get to a playtest, and like you said, I think we've further improved it ever since then, because everyone was just had so much fun, but also so many good comments and notes to help improve that. So that was definitely awesome.
Hell yeah.
And shout out to Fry's in the chat as well. But love having him on our collabs with our videos and stuff. He really helps bring in those elements that we need. You know, brings that other side of game systems, and he's got a wealth of knowledge on all those as well. We'll look at September, right? Here we have what me and Fry are starting next, probably Mondays. I just put this on here for now, but maybe on Mondays, and looking at maybe going bi-weekly on it. But we're going to start diving into another tabletop role-playing game system called World Without Numbers. You all may know of that one already. It looks like a very awesome book. It's very in-depth, so I'm excited to try it out. I think the rest of the team here at Shield Rest has probably been more familiar and seen it and played with it, so I'm totally excited to come in blind and do like deep dives on this system and see how great it is. Then some couple other Fabula Ultima stuff coming out there, and don't worry, on the Daggerheart side, we're doing tons of stuff. Tell them about it, Drew.
Oh, yeah. No, we're definitely doing a lot. So this Friday, we've got the actual werewolf playtest that we did for our internal material. That is going to be showing up here on this coming Friday on the 5th. And then we've got the sorcerer that's going to be dropping on the 12th. And then the warrior on the 26th, along with us doing a little bit of a Netherdeep conversion into Daggerheart. So if you're interested in the Netherdeep, Call of the Netherdeep campaign book that had been put out by Critical Role, I have been converting it over into Daggerheart so you can play it with Daggerheart and have a seamless transition. At least I think it's going to be seamless, but we're going to test it out. We're going to actually play it here on the channel. We've got a new player that's going to come into things and help us out with that one. And then, I mean, we keep coming up with conversions and stuff. Joe and I have one that we've been working on in the background, and we are so excited because Fry and Mark have no clue what it is, and it's going to be an absolute surprise for them. So we're going to play that live with them, so that way we can see their reaction real time while you guys get to already know what it is, because you guys will see it actually on the overlay and everything else. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to bring back, I know it's not fair, but hey, but it's going to bring back a lot of childhood memories along with, well, assuming that you still get into it, but maybe even some current memories. So yeah.
Yeah, I do almost everything I still did as a child, so that checks. I think too, definitely excited to see that Netherdeep conversion, because I mean, why would you not want to play a D&D campaign setting or Critical Role campaign setting in Daggerheart, right? That was made for a different system.
Exactly.
So definitely cool to see that in there. We will, let's see here, next up on the agenda, right? I don't know if you missed it, but we did put out a post, was it the beginning of the month or so, about a chance to play with us here at Shield's Rest. Now, apologize because I drafted that narrative and some people were thinking we were going to do a whole campaign with them. In the future, we would love to do that. But for now, we just want to do something small to play with some of the members that currently watch us. We've had tons of support since we started this whole thing. So I just thought it was right and fair to put it out there and get at least some people playing with us at our table at least one time in a one shot, and we can meet them and we can talk through some stuff. So what we did was we put out a post for that, community post on YouTube, and we had a lot of votes. It was like over 100 votes, I think, on which system, right, that they wanted to see, and then comments on who wants to play what system. So let me try not to jack this up. I've got a wheel here that we created. Can you see the wheel? Okay, there it is. So you've seen this before in some of our giveaways, right? And normally we spin this wheel. You can see kind of all the names that are on there right now. But we've actually decided to change it up a bit, and instead of just picking 4 people to play it at the table with us, my initial idea was maybe fit one person in with the 3 of us that already play, and then have one other one DM. But I think it works best if we just, each of the Shield's Rest members takes a game system and DMs a one-shot for the community members. So that's kind of what we're doing with this. So I'm actually not going to spin this wheel, but I do have it pulled up just so I can see the names here and on the side. So if you're one of these 14 people, you're in. You get to play with us. The only thing is, I'm going to, probably not tonight, but I'll try if I can, but probably tomorrow at some point, we will update the post and we will probably reply to each person and tag them so that they should get a notification that, hey, you've got a message and you've been picked. We would like for all of you, these 14 people, to reply to us or reach out to us before the 8th of September. So we're going to give you like a week and a weekend to acknowledge that. Otherwise, we want to start planning that. We want to square away who's DMing which session. getting ahead of myself, but I'll let True talk to what systems we're doing. But that's the be on the lookout for a notification letting you know you're in, and reply to us just so we know you're still interested and you want to play, and then we will go from there. True, you can tell I'm getting out of breath. You go ahead.
No, you're good. So you all voted for 4 systems, but 3 systems are what we are going to be playing because there were so many votes for Daggerheart. We're going to be playing 2 different games where I will DM one of those and Fry will DM the other one. And then we've got DC-20 and D&D that we are also going to get into. So if you do want to play those, or for those of you that did vote, we're going to be getting into those in particular. So for the people that voted for Daggerheart, we'll also put something out there to be like, who do you want to DM for your Daggerheart game kind of thing. So that way you get a little bit of a preference. But obviously we're going to just try and divvy out as best as we can. So that'll be coming down the pipeline, and it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to bringing in community members for a little bit of one shot. So yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely excited to play with everyone, and hopefully everyone gets the notification and reaches back out to us so we can get as much participation as possible. And obviously we'll look to do these things in the future. That's always something that we looked at wanting to do, is to stay involved with the community and do more than just put out videos of us talking about things and having fun that you watch. We want you to come and enjoy it with us. Maybe we want to see you at our table. So I'm rambling on it, but all 14 of those people are in. We will tag you. Please respond before 8 September, and we will give you more details and go from there. Oh, okay. That was like rapid fire, but
hey, that's all right. I will put out there also, if anyone wants to play test, like if they want to get into the game and actually play test some of the material that I'm creating in-house for Daggerheart, we'll talk about that, but have that in mind. Let me know, because we got a lot of things that we're kind of bringing in. So would love to have some non-Shield's Rest members kind of play test some of that and give me some fresh ideas, especially when it comes to some hard truths that might need to be said that they're not willing to say. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll say everything, but yeah. But yeah, I guess True, unless you've got anything else lingering, that kind of wraps it up for this monthly wrap up. Also, just hey, we've been doing these. We've seen a little bit of support, but let us know if you like these, or you want a different format, or if there's something you think would be more useful to see along with this, please let us know. But we're busy over here at Shield's Rest trying to put out some content for you that you'll hopefully enjoy, so definitely let us know and we'll make it even better. But
oh yeah,
I guess that's it. So until next time, you know what to do. Keep that shield wall strong.